The day my mom died, my house stopped feeling like a home. It wasn't just the silence. It was the way everything felt colder. Empty. Like the walls themselves knew something had been taken away. My mom had been sick for months. Cancer. The kind that slowly eats away at someone until the strongest person you know becomes a shadow of themselves. But even when she was sick, she still smiled at me every morning. "Everything will be okay," she used to say. I believed her. I shouldn't have. The day after the funeral, my dad called me into the living room. He didn't look sad. Not really. He looked irritated, like someone who had been inconvenienced.
Hi, viewer. Before we continue, please do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. Thank you.
I sat across from him, still wearing the black dress I'd worn to the burial because I didn't even have the energy to change. He cleared his throat. "You're 18 now," he said flatly. I blinked at him. "Okay, that means you're an adult. Time to start acting like one." Something about his tone made my stomach twist. "What are you saying?" He leaned back in his chair and crossed his arms. "I'm saying you need to move out." For a moment, I thought I had heard him wrong. "Move out?" "Yes. But, Mom, just—" "I know what happened," he snapped. "Don't start that emotional nonsense." My chest tightened. This was the same man who used to lift me onto his shoulders when I was little. The same man who used to bring me chocolate from the store. But the man sitting in front of me now felt like a stranger. "I have nowhere to go," I whispered. He shrugged. "That's not my problem." I stared at him, waiting for the punchline, waiting for him to say he was joking. He didn't. "You have until the end of the week," he continued. "I'm selling the house soon anyway." "Selling it?" "Yes. But Mom loved this house." "Your mother isn't here anymore," he said coldly. The words hit me like a slap. I felt something inside me crack. "Dad," my voice shook. "Why are you doing this?" He stood up, clearly done with the conversation. "Because I'm tired of taking care of people." That was it. That was the moment I realized my father had already moved on long before my mom had even died. 3 days later, I packed my things into 2 suitcases. Everything I owned had to fit inside them. Clothes, a few books, photos of my mom. I stood in my childhood bedroom one last time. The walls were still covered with the fairy lights my mom had helped me hang when I was 16. I took them down slowly. Every memory in that room felt like it was being ripped away. When I walked downstairs with my bags, my dad barely looked up from his phone. "You leaving?" he asked casually. "Yes." "Good." I waited. Part of me hoped he would say something else, something that sounded like love, but he didn't. I walked out of the house, and the door closed behind me. Just like that, I was homeless. For the next few weeks, I slept on my best friend Maya's couch. Her parents were kind, but I could tell I was becoming a burden. I started working double shifts at a small cafe nearby just to save enough money for a tiny apartment. Some nights I cried so hard I couldn't breathe, not just because my mom was gone, but because my dad had thrown me away like I meant nothing. Then one afternoon, about a month later, I got a call from a number I didn't recognize. "Hello. Is this Olivia Carter?" "Yes. My name is Mr. Reynolds. I'm your mother's lawyer." My heart skipped. I didn't know she had a lawyer. "She did," he replied calmly. "And there's something important we need to discuss regarding her will." My stomach dropped. "My dad already has everything," I said quietly. There was a pause on the line. Then the lawyer said something that made my entire world stop. "Actually, that's not correct." For a moment I couldn't speak. "What do you mean?" I finally asked. Mr. Reynolds cleared his throat. "Your mother made some very specific arrangements before she passed away." I sat down slowly on the edge of Maya's couch. "What arrangements?" "Well, first of all," he said carefully, "the house your father is currently living in was never legally his." My heart began to race. "It wasn't." "No. The house has always been in your mother's name." I blinked. "But he said he was selling it." "That would be difficult." "Why?" Another pause. "Because according to the will, the house belongs to you." For a moment, I thought I had misheard him. "Me?" "Yes." My hand started shaking. "But my dad kicked me out." "I'm aware." "You are." Your mother anticipated that possibility. My chest tightened. "She did?" "Yes." Your mother left a letter with the will. My throat went dry. What did it say? Mr. Reynolds hesitated. I think it's better if I read it to you. I closed my eyes. Okay. I heard the sound of paper unfolding. Then he began reading. My sweet Olivia, if you're hearing this, it means I'm gone. I know how difficult things might become after I leave, especially with your father. I love him, but I also know the kind of man he can be when things don't go his way. Tears slid down my cheeks. I've put the house in your name because I want you to always have a place that feels like home. No matter what happens, this house is yours, not his. I covered my mouth as the tears kept coming. Mr. Reynolds continued, I've also placed a condition in the will. Your father is allowed to live in the house temporarily, but only as long as he allows you to live there as well. If he ever forces you out, he loses that right immediately. My heart stopped. What? Yes, the lawyer said gently. If he kicked you out, he violated the terms of the will. So what does that mean? It means he no longer has any legal right to stay there. I stared at the wall in shock. You're telling me the house is mine? Yes. And my dad? He will have to move out. A strange mix of emotions rushed through me. Anger, relief, justice. For the first time since my mom died, I felt like she was still protecting me somehow. 2 weeks later, I stood in front of the house again. The same house my dad had thrown me out of. Only this time, I wasn't the one leaving. My dad opened the door when he saw the lawyer and the legal papers. What is this? He demanded. Mr. Reynolds handed him the documents calmly. You should read this. I watched his face as he scanned the page. First confusion, then disbelief, then anger. This is ridiculous, he snapped. This house is mine. No, the lawyer said firmly. It isn't. My dad turned to me. You did this. I finally found my voice. No, my mom did. His face turned red. She wouldn't do that to me. I stepped forward. She already did. The silence between us was heavy. For the first time in my life, my dad looked small, powerless. You can't kick me out, he muttered weakly. I looked him straight in the eyes. The same way you kicked me out a month after Mom died? He said nothing. A week later, he moved out. Watching him load his boxes into a truck felt surreal. This house had once belonged to my childhood. Then it belonged to my grief. Now it belonged to me. That night, I walked through every room slowly. The memories were still there. But so was my mom's love. And for the first time since she died, I finally felt safe again. If there's one thing I learned from all this, it's that sometimes the people who hurt you the most think they've won until the truth finally catches up with them. So if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who loves powerful real-life stories. Because sometimes karma just needs a little patience.